Dave will beat the roller coaster, nose down, and head straight for the ground again. Okay, stand by, the crew will bring the Chinook back for a very quick 270-degree turning quick stop. Watch as the back end of the Chinook swings around for a very quick stop on the spot. As the boys fly past sideways, you can see the ramp is down, with Flight Sergeant Sam Morris at the back. Give him a wave as he passes. Sam's a little old and needs the attention.
One final pass down, stop.
This has been the RAF Chinook Display Team 2007 from Squadrons 18 and 27.
Hold.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Chinook. You may have realised that actually they had their own commentator, but timing's a little bit dodgy, so there you go. As always, an excellent display. Those of you who were here last year may remember that, again, it was a very spectacular display from the Chinook. It's not quite a competition, but there is a sort of presentation made for the crews or the aircraft that gives what they consider to be the best demonstration. And of course it's not a competition because each aircraft is different, weather's different and all the other things, but last year the Chinook was awarded that, and you can now probably see why, because it really very spectacular.
Season with us. John's widely regarded as one of the best display pilots in the world, turned professional display pilot 30 years ago. Given that he could pass for 45 years old, I think that's pretty impressive. He displayed solo pitch special throughout Europe and Scandinavia, and he also joined the Marlborough Aerobatic team, and more recently flew with Firebird Aerobatics with Brian Lacombe. They say this is his 4th season with Ultimate High.
Maintain a hold in your current position.
Showing off the inverted flight capability of the airplane there. The extra has a capability of flying upside down pretty much as long as it likes to until the petrol runs out.
If you can just hold
to this the whole time.
Maintain an orbit in your current position, no further east, maintaining outside the restricted air, approaching no further west, maintaining outside the restricted airspace.
So if you'd like to come and have a look at some of John's gyroscopic manoeuvres, you can come to the B&Q Air Force stand in the middle of the display line behind the Tornado F3.
Make sure he's positioning the aircraft in exactly the right place.
Waddington Tower, first variable left.
Roger, next left.
Okay, well, we're moving into an area that I know a lot of people love, because we're into the historic aircraft. Out to the left, you can see a Spitfire T9. It's called a T9 because it's a training version of the Mark 9 Spitfire. Look very carefully behind the side of the cockpit and you can see that there is a second cockpit. This aircraft was actually converted by Vickers Supermarine to a two-seat aircraft for the Irish Air Corps, and it flew with the Irish Air Corps in that configuration until 1960 to command the Battle of Britain Memorial flight. It probably has more Spitfire hours than anybody else, and that may even apply to people who used to fly the Spitfire during the war. This aircraft for many years. Not this particular aircraft, all various Spitfires he's flown. Okay, well, as I say, it's a T9. It was built in 1943 as a single-seat fighter at Castle Bromwich. So this classic aircraft goes back to the Supermarine chief designer, R.J. Mitchell. He'd become involved with fairly high-performance aircraft when he was involved in designing aircraft for the Schneider Trophy, the seaplane trophy, which Britain actually won outright in 1931. Mitchell started designing a new single-seat fighter before actually the military even said they needed one. Eventually produced the aircraft for a Air Ministry specification F-36-34, and it was known initially as the Supermarine Type 300. It was then powered by the new Rolls-Royce Merlin engine that developed Mr. J. Mott Summers, the chief test pilot for Vickers Aviation. So I then went to the Royal Air Force for some primary trials. They incorporated some improvements that had been recommended. It flew again on the 11th of May 1936 with Geoffrey Quall. It's quite a complicated aircraft to build. There were a number of subcontractors. It wasn't until the 3rd of August 1938 that the third that was made in Eastleigh in October 1947. So as I say, by the end of the war, the development that had gone into the Spitfire had resulted in its rate of climb increasing by 80%. Top speed was raised by 35%. So, privately owned Spitfire, it's owned by Maurice Bayliss. By the Rolls-Royce Griffin engine, much more powerful, gives it a much sort of longer nose. And the Mark 19, of course, was an unarmed reconnaissance aircraft.
Well, I have a message here for Cadet Corporal Clifford of 138 ATC Squadron. Would you please go to the Lost Children's Centre, which is near Fire Section? That's Cadet Corporal Clifford of 138 ATC Squadron. Please go to the Lost Children's Centre, and that's located by the Fire Section.
I'm trying to talk to the motor gliders, see if we can get them to do a bit more direct track to Cromwell. We'll keep you advised.
627 10 knots.
Today by Dave Southwood, very experienced display pilot, an ex-test pilot in the Royal Air Force. So the Hunter again was probably one of the most successful post-war fighters for British aviation. It first flew in 1951, came into designed by Sir Sidney Cam. It looks a classic aeroplane. If it looks right, it probably is right, and this certainly does look right. He also was involved in aircraft like the Hurricane and the Harrier, so kind of follows that the Hunter would look right. Total production of the Hunter just under 2,000. That included about 429 that were built for export. It's only just retired from the Indian Air Force. It was built under licence in Belgium and the Netherlands. So over 700 finished up being refurbished to come back into frontline service.
Okay, we're to ground out and clear.
Then of course I couldn't get an update on the stop running time.
So it was about 4 or 5 years ago, I say, that this was the lead aircraft for the Patrie Suisse. It's basically a development of the Fighter Ground Attack Mark 9 version, but they continually updated it. They had chaff and flare dispensers, a radar warning receiver, it could fire the Sidewinder AIM-9, and also the Maverick missile.
Yeah, Mark, confirm what the slot time is, please.
Slot time for
Various other clever things, so they can use it as an attack aircraft for other air forces, not to actually attack them, but carry out the role of the enemy, so those air forces can train against a more realistic threat. So they basically offer what they consider to be a realistic high-speed aerial threat simulation and mission support training for any air force or defence contractor who wants it. Not a good scheme, I'm afraid. They built a one-off Mark III, and that was to gain the world speed record of 727.6 miles per hour. They sort of increased its fuel capacity with the Mark IV, different engines in the Mark V, and really sort of one of the sort of frontline operational ones was the Mark VI. And again, that had an Avon engine developing about 10,000 pounds of static thrust, so maybe twice as much as the original prototype.
Short back, second next left.
Enter A firm.
Well, this is number 2. It's a very tight formation, but the classic sort of executive jet shape. But as I said, underneath the wings, it's got these hard points. So the core of the business is this fleet of Falcon 20s, and also they've got Dornier aircraft. Work doing it. They need to work the crew up again. They need to be able to fight the ship systems. And they need threats to come in so they can actually train. These are the sort of aircraft that they use to simulate these threats. Some of the pods are capable of carrying a towed array variation of airborne targets, so again they can use those so the ship can fire its guns against the target. It's a fairly robust aircraft. It's fairly manoeuvrable, as you can see. Maximum speed about 350 miles an hour. They can go up to over 40,000 feet. Heath Valley Airport, as it's called. The John Denning and Steve Wells there down in Bournemouth. Okay, interesting opportunity now to see the different ends of the operational scale. See the aircraft down to the left, John Denning is actually...
Falcon 1, final get down.
Falcon 1, clear to land and turn.
Turn Falcon 1.
6, have you had the latest Waddington weather? Roger, runway 20, colour green, RQFE 1002. 20 kilometres in rain, cloud is broken at 1,100 feet and overcast at 2,200 feet.
And we'll be happy to talk to you about careers in the Royal Navy.
Service 21808 knots.
Dave, before you go, I've got to ask the classic question. Why are they called the Black Cats?
We're just expecting 3 jets to get airborne for the Brook Hole.
So you've still got this huge Bombay in the belly of the aircraft.
Similar time, 12 o'clock, 4 miles, reciprocal heading.
So the heart of the system, entirely new tactical command and control system.
Core 3,
It's based on 7 reconfigurable, high-resolution, multifunction colour displays, workstations throughout the aircraft. Primary sensor is the Thales search water multi-mode search radar. Again, brand new system. It's extremely high-performance radar capable of operating in all weathers, and it's optimized to be able to track very small targets in very poor weather. It's got new defensive aid systems, radar warning receivers, missile approach receivers, and phoned out by Mr. Neil Dawson, who's an ex-Royal Air Force Wing Commander.
He's going to light the afterburner. You'll see it light up almost instantaneous, and he's going to climb away. Agree, not many fast jet aircraft these days can keep the display so tight to the crowd, and Jim doing a really good job in really bad weather today. opportunity to see one of those VV rolls where the aircraft rolls around its velocity vector, that corkscrew roll you see, as Jim performs one now, directly towards the crowd. Jim just unwinding himself there at the end after winding himself up.